Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Visa Preps with XCELE with Emmy. Today, we are going to look at our usual mock sessions and then also look at how to answer the loan repayment. So I'm going to drop the link. If you want to be prepped, just let me know and then you can enter the room, okay? We'll wait for a couple of minutes for people to join, and then Maxwell, you always said you want to be interviewed and you never joined the link. So I'm going to share the link. Please do well to join the link. I just dropped the link. I'm trying to pin the link on YouTube. Give me a second. All right, so I just dropped the chat in the YouTube chat. Join the link to join a prep session, and then we can start. Okay. Okay, I just. All right, so if you are watching this video after the live session is that we do wait for people to join. So I'm going to take 1 more minute to share the link on WhatsApp, and then we can start our session even without them. Okay, please. Has Maxwell been able to join? Maxwell has not been able to join. Interesting. Maxwell, you wanted to be the first person to be interviewed and you have not joined. Okay, Erica said she wanted to be the first person. Erica, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Erica, tell us about your school and why you chose the school.
Okay, so I chose University of Charleston because it is recognized by the Higher Learning Commission in the USA, and then it meets because it is recognized by the Higher Learning Commission in the USA. It meets all standard to be the best education in to be the best for me in education in the United States. Also, my school has set aside internship programs which would help me during my course of studies and also prepare me for my career choice, which is being an industrial psychologist when I'm back to Ghana.
I think that you were struggling with the question a bit. So if you are still trying to put it together, that's fine. But make sure that you are not seen as struggling with the question, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, what is your funding story? Who is funding you?
Okay, fortunately, I've been awarded a merit-based scholarship of $20,000 for my school, and then my deficit of $26,800 will be taken care of by my stepdad, who is in the person of Mr. Ernest Asa Ekufu, who has been taking care of me since my dad passed on 10 years ago, and has also sponsored my trip to Dubai in 2022. he owns Nana Asa group of companies where he's into all sorts of building materials. He's an agent of Gasem Cement, the leading cement in Ghana, and then he's an agent of Frontier Fuel Stations.
Okay, what are
He
your plans
makes
after school, Erica? So I think
okay,
your funding story now you have mastered your funding story very well. So what is your plan after school?
okay. So after my 4 years stay in the university or the USA, I would like to come back to Ghana to take up my duty in my stepdad's company. Then I would be an assistant human resource manager. Can I please take that again?
Yeah.
Okay, so after my 4 years steady stay in the USA, I would like to come back to do my mandatory 1 year national service, and after that,
So
I
I've
would
told you
like to.
guys that they don't know national service. So you don't mention national service in the interview. If you are coming to
Okay,
work, just say you are coming to work. They don't know national service.
okay, okay. So I
So take it
four
again.
years
What are your plans after school?
after my 4 years stay in the United States of America, I would like to come back to be an assistant human resource manager in my stepdad's company. And in the long run, I would like to be a teaching assistant for industrial psychology in the Department of Psychology in the University of Ghana.
Yeah, so this sounds better. If you're on this call and your comeback story is including a national service, take it out. Tell them you are coming to work because they don't know national service. And in my
Okay.
opinion, national service is like OPT, which I've talked about a couple of times. That if you finish school with an F1 visa, you are given the opportunity to work in the US on OPT. And if I'm doing OPT and someone asks me, what job are you doing? You don't have to tell that. You don't say that you are doing OPT. You are actually working. So make sure that you are taking that into consideration.
Okay.
All right, Erica, what if you get a job offer after school? What would you do?
Um. Okay. I hear people get job offers, but then I'm really I'm going to come back to my own country as required by every F1 visa uh, applicant. Yeah.
So you did mention that you are coming to work in your stepdad's company. So
Yeah.
if you are coming back to Ghana, if you are getting a job offer, officer, because my stepdad is in sponsoring my education, this is a form of investment. He's indirectly making it in his business because I'm expected to come back to assume the position of a human resource generalist in my stepdad's company in the name of you mentioned the name of the company. Simple.
Okay, sure. Okay, sure.
So please work. The only answer you gave solidly was the funding aspect. All of the other answers, you looked like you were struggling through it. When is your visa interview?
Thursday.
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure you're getting the stories right. You've joined the sessions for quite some time now. So like by now you should say your answers without fumbling while you are still being genuine. But I don't see that.
Okay. I'll work on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Goody.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Are you ready to be interviewed?
Yes, I am.
All right. Goody, tell me your funding story.
Okay, I have a scholarship of 2,000 and the remaining 19,880 deficits will be sponsored by my mentor. Her name is Chiwendo Odunze. She has been the one sponsoring my education right from the time I was pursuing my bachelor's degree in biochemistry. I've known her for over 8 years now, and she's willing and committed in helping me pursue my associate degree in nursing in the United States. She's a nurse by profession. She makes an annual income of $144,000 annually.
Okay, so you are going for associate degree. I do see that you have a bachelor's degree. Why are you going for a lesser degree?
Yes, I was drawn to this profession because of a life childhood experience of a child who used to be asthmatic.
Did
But
you said you were drawn to this because of a childhood experience, but you went ahead to do a bachelor's degree. which was not in that program. So what influenced your decision now, even though you had experience back then?
Okay, during my pursuit in bachelor's degree, I wasn't opportuned to achieve my dreams of becoming a nurse. Well, and even after I pursued a bachelor's degree in biochemistry, it didn't feel like my dreams were accomplished because I have always wanted to be a nurse since childhood because of my personal experience.
So what shows that after this your dreams are not going to change, and I should grant you a visa for that?
So I didn't get your question.
What shows that after this program your plans are not going to change as well, which might make you stay in the US?
That's a big question.
That's a good question, right? So this is
Yes.
what I always talk about. If you are answering these questions, these are the things you want to say. You always don't want to answer questions that will open room for other questions. I
Okay.
went to that line of questioning because you told me that um you had a childhood experience, but when you were doing a bachelor's degree, you did it in another program. And now you are telling me that your plans have changed, and because of that passion, you want to study this program. So what is my guarantee as a visa officer that when you come to the US, even not after pursuing, right after you get to the US, your plans can change, because now you seem like a person who's a bit unstable with their decisions, right? So there's
Yeah, I
the
understand.
aspect where I told you that you have to find a correlation between what you are doing and what you did as a bachelor's degree, and how you can emphasize on that correlation to say that after this associate degree, it will help me become this because of my past bachelor's degree in this and an associate degree in this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that will be your assignment for today. Once you get that story right, it should be good, because right now you are not demonstrating your strong ties to your home country. In all honesty, I'm not going to lie that I'm approving your visa when I know some of the stories are not right. Do you get it? So go
Yes.
work on that, and then we will do that Monday. When is your
Okay.
visa interview?
Next month. Sorry. Next month.
Sorry. So yeah, go and work on the story, and then we can look at that on Monday. Okay?
Okay.
Yes. Salma, are you ready?
Yes, please.
Okay. Salma, tell me about your funding issue.
Okay, so I have a deficit. My cost of attendance is $28,000, and my is going to be covered by my dad, who is an entrepreneur and earns an annual income of $65,000. He owns Some Sonka Enterprise, which deals in the sales and purchase of spare parts and of automobiles. And he also works as a financial assistant at Quantum Petroleum, Ghana.
All right, Salma, what's your plan after school?
So after completing my associate degree in healthcare, my plan is to return to Ghana and contribute to the healthcare sector by applying the knowledge and skills I've acquired. And I also aim to integrate my healthcare education with my background in agriculture to enhance patients' care and improve health outcomes in Ghana. I am committed to making a positive impact in Ghana's healthcare system.
Salma, why did you choose the program you chose?
Okay, so I chose an associate degree in healthcare because an associate degree is going to provide me with a solid foundation in healthcare, including essential practical skills and knowledge. Starting with the associate degree will allow me to achieve my goal of making a positive impact in
Do
people's
you have
lives
a
through
bachelor's
health.
degree in your home country?
Yes, please.
Why are you going for a degree that is lesser than what you already have?
Okay, so my bachelor's degree in agriculture from the University of Ghana has highlighted the importance of quality food in human health and their lives. But I've always been passionate about improving human lives through the health sector, and a particular um, sector I am focusing on is the
If you've
maternal.
always been passionate about that, and then you had this passion from a certain point of your life, then why did you pursue a bachelor's in agriculture rather than pursuing a bachelor's in nursing?
Okay, so I pursued a bachelor's in agriculture because my WASI result was not favorable for being in the health sector. I was able to study agriculture then for 4 years, but now that I have the opportunity to pursue my education, my passion in healthcare, I am ready to pick up that piece.
So the answer you gave me right now is exhibiting your part of your academic story where you might not be performing in a certain program, which is your guarantee that you can live up to the academic standard for this program that you're coming for.
Yeah. Please, I didn't get that.
What is my guarantee that you can perform up to academic standard for this program that you are coming for, especially when you have not performed academically in the past?
Well, so okay. So being in the health sector is something I've always wanted to be in, and I have been very passionate about it. And uh, I'm sorry, but I've not actually tackled such a question. I'm sorry.
So yeah, my feedback for you will be the same as I gave to Goody, right? You have a bachelor's degree, so most like on a normal level, then you should go for a graduate degree in the field that you went for, or even if you are diverting, it's a higher degree. But you're telling me that I should grant you a visa for a lower degree, so you should be able to convince me enough. And then for you to tell me that you didn't qualify for the nursing program, it then gives me a clue of how academically incompetent you can be. So then why should I grant you a visa into my country? So even though you are looking for a correlation between these two programs, it should be a positive correlation and not one that will bring a negative light onto you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like the fact that you mentioned agriculture. Learning agriculture exposed you to impacting human lives through the food they eat. That was a good point until you brought in the fact that you did not qualify to be in nursing, and that was not a good part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go work around that.
Okay.
Yeah. Sama, what is your plan after school?
So after completing my associate degree in healthcare, my plan is to return to Ghana and contribute to the healthcare sector by applying the knowledge and skills I've acquired. I aim to integrate my
If your
healthcare education
aim
with my
is
background.
just to positively impact the healthcare system, an associate degree is just 2 years, and I believe that you can get a very good associate degree in your country, Ghana. So why the USA?
So I chose the US because of its renowned educational system with high academic standards and strong emphasis on innovation and research, which are crucial in the evolving healthcare field. They also have a diverse and inclusive environment, which will enrich my educational experience by
What
allowing me to
job
learn from.
can you
Yeah.
get, or what employment can you get? What level of employment can you get after studying an associate degree? How large would your impact be?
So after studying the associate degree, I believe I can get a position as a
So
practitioner.
leave means you are not sure, right? So what is my guarantee that you are going to come back to your home country? Salma, this is just me being like a very controversial visa officer because always I listen to you, so I'm like, I'm approving your visa. But you realize that from the story you are telling me, there are tons of questions that I can ask you and put you in a very tight corner, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what I'm going to do today. Like, if you come on the story and you are telling me, I'm just going to use your thread of answering the question to put you on the spot to make sure that you know the loopholes you are creating around the answers you are providing.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, because if you it's just for associate degree, you can do it in Ghana, right? So right from the scratch, for having a bachelor's degree and come to pursue a degree that is less, it just screams immigrant intent. So it's you that have a extra responsibility that you don't even know what level that you believe. If you believe, it means you have not even researched on what level of job you can get in the field, and your main passion is to make impact, right? So you
Mm.
can still make impact in the agricultural sector if you already link it to the health sector. So go think about these things and create a better story. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Maxwell, you finally was able to join, so let's do Maxwell.
Yes, I am still Glory, same Maxwell.
You said?
I am Glory too.
Oh, got it. So you've been joining, but
Yes, I've been
oh,
joining.
okay,
I just use a different name to join.
I get it. I get it. So let's do Patrick. Christian. All right. Maxwell or Glory. Let's go on.
Okay.
Tell us about your funding story.
Okay. My deficit of 24,405 will be covered by my lovely husband and my father. My father will cover 20% of my deficit, while my husband will cover the rest of it. My husband is a civil engineer with Chevron. He has been an offshore engineer for the past 12 years, where he earns an annual income of 65 million
What
naira.
have you been doing this past years? Have you been working or you've been schooling?
Yes, I've been working as a mental health assistant in University of Nigeria Medical Center, where my duties are conducting psychosocial assessment to determine clients' mental health status using structural interview. I also advocate for patients' mental health, patients' needs and preferences within the
All
healthcare
right. You
system.
mentioned that you are married. Do you have children?
Yes, I have two kids, Chisimde
What's
and
your
Eke.
plan while you are away for your kids?
Okay, my two lovely daughters, my mother, who is their grandmother, will assist me in taking care of them alongside their living nanny. However, I'll be coming back to visit them during holidays.
All right. What's your plan after school?
Okay, upon the completion of my program, I return back to Nigeria to take a higher role in my current place of work as a mental health professional, where I will accurately diagnose and treat mental health disorders. Um, on the long run, I will establish an NGO that will focus on community education and outreach programs to promote mental health and awareness. Still on the
Why
long run,
should I approve your visa?
approving my visa will give me legal access to the United States to pursue my master's in clinical mental health counseling that will give me an advanced knowledge on mental health setting and equip me with more deeper knowledge and sophisticated techniques on how to accurately diagnose and treat mental health disorder. This will lead to more better patient outcome and overall mental health care within my current place of work.
All right. I'm approving your visa, but your story is going to be a bit complicated if the visa officer wants to ask more about why you are leaving your family, like to come to the US, right? And then how you are going to see your children. If you tell them your children is coming to the US to see you quite often, then it means that you are planning to actually relocate your family. If you say you are coming back, it's how you are going to financially do that. And then your husband and your father is sponsoring you, so that's like you don't have any funding at all. But once you have their statement, you should be good with that.
Okay, you say the last, I didn't get the last line. You say once I have,
Once you have their bank statement and
okay,
maybe
yes.
a
Yes,
guarantee.
I'm
Yeah,
currently going with my husband's statement.
yeah. So if you say your husband and your dad, it means both statements should be available for that purpose.
Okay. So having worked for 2 years, this is a question. Is he expected that I'm supposed to have funding? Because I've the truth is that I've only worked for 1 year, but I just put 2 years in my DS 160
Yeah,
so
you
that
don't really need to fund yourself if your husband is able to fund you. But
okay.
the fact that you are bringing your dad in, it means that you have multiple sources of funding, and that's
Okay.
sometimes like, what if the other person fails? How are you going to survive? What if both of them fails? How are you going to survive? How guaranteed are their jobs, right? So you want to make
Okay.
sure you have a guarantee letter and their bank statements.
Yes, I do.
Okay, all
So
right.
am I improving in my
Yeah, I think
skill?
you have. Yeah, you have improved because when you joined the first time, and I think I had a lot of questions about your funding with your husband and your father, but now that story sounds clear. And then the fact that you don't mention anymore that your children will visit you because that screams immigrant intent is also very good. Your plan after school, you have a problem and a solution you are coming to fix. So I think that is good. For me, the only thing on the 214B that I think you are not qualifying right now is the sufficiency of your funds, because anyone can come up to say that my dad and my husband are sponsoring me for my visa. How true is that? So then it becomes a responsibility to go the extra mile to prove to the visa officer that indeed both of these people are readily available to assist you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yep. Patrick, are you ready? All right. Tayo, for some reason I'm not able to add you. Maybe you want to exit the live completely and then come back. So let's do Jobish. Patrick, are you
Yes, hello.
okay? Jobish is ready. Jobish, tell us about your funding. So give me a lot of people
Yeah, I
are
have
in the
been awarded.
backstage. Please wait. A lot of people are in the backstage. Please wait on the call. I'll add you in due time. Okay. I'm just trying to do it one at a time so that we don't flood on the stream yet. So Jobish, tell us about your funding story.
Yes, I have been awarded a scholarship of $6,000 by the university. Part of my tuition fee will be funded by this scholarship, and the remaining deficit of my tuition fee, which is $37,144. 20,000 of it will be covered by my sponsor, and the remaining 17,144 will be covered by my passion.
Yeah,
Hello?
your network is not good. You were breaking.
Yeah, I shared that I have been awarded a scholarship of $6,000 by the university. Uh, this will cover a portion of my tuition fee and the remaining deficit of $37,144. 20,000 of that will be covered by my sponsor, who is my elder brother, and the remaining 17,144 will be covered by my personal savings.
All right. Jobish, what's your plan after school?
I'm currently working. After completing my studies, I'll be coming back to join my company. This time around, I'll assume higher positions where I intend to apply the knowledge and skill gains to help address the human capacity deficit that we are currently facing by conducting constant and regular training to both existing and newly recruited operational staff of the institution. Additionally, I plan to start up my own accounting and auditing firm where I intend to provide quality and quality and timely auditing and accounting services to credit union, banks, and government institutions. Because we only have 8 auditing firms in our country, and this makes it a big challenge for businesses to get timely audit. It's an issue that I would like to address.
Okay. So you want to come back to okay, that story is clear, and then your funding is your personal funding. And so, what if you get a job after school? What's your plan around that? Because there are a lot of opportunities in the US. So let me know what's your plan after that.
Yeah, my primary purpose of going to the US is to pursue my degree. After completing, I'll be coming back because I have been granted a 2 year study leave with salary at my current work institution, and there's already a position waiting for me behind. Immediately after completing, I'll be coming back to take up this position where I intend to address the human capacity deficit that we are currently facing in our institution. And in the longer run, I will establish my own accounting and auditing firms where I intend to provide timely and relevant auditing and accounting services to
Job is
banks, government.
tell me about your school.
Yeah, absolutely. My school was established in 1894. It is a Jesuit Catholic university located on a beautiful campus of more than 50 acres in the dynamic heart of Seattle. It is a renowned institution in Washington state known for its excellence academic program in business administration. It offers state-of-the-art facilities and a diverse student community which provide an enriching learning and cultural experience.
Okay. Yeah, I'm granting your visa.
Thank you.
Do you have
But I
any?
have one question.
Yeah.
Yeah, my interview is next year, but I was denied a visa twice, and this is my third attempt. What advice do you have for me?
Yeah, so for people that have gone for the visa interview before, obviously you have a upper hand because you have had experience how it feels like, right? And then I would say that from your
Okay.
past experiences, there's always something that stood out to you that hey, this thing did not go right. And so you want to make
Yeah.
sure that you're reassessing yourself to understand what did not go right. Has the funding story changed? Was it your comeback to your home
Yes.
country story? or was it your immigrant intent that you exhibited? Probably because you didn't have a very strong comeback story, then your immigrant intent was screaming that you would stay in the US after school. So look at all these things. If you want a copy of the 214B, which is the denial letter, it lists a couple of things that you should be able to satisfy to get your visa approved. I can share it with you, and then you get to, so while you are answering your questions, you want to make sure that you are satisfying all these requirements. The only problem is sufficiency of the funds. So on the 214B, it states that the person should be able to um have sufficient funds to fund themselves in the first year, but this is the case, you still don't have scholarship, so you are still looking at relatives and your own personal funds. So you have the extra responsibility to justify that these people's funds are available and sufficient for your time through school. So I can send you a copy of the 214B at the end of the session, and then you can go through while you are answering the questions for
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. Based on the copy that I was given to, it was indicating that I was not able to demonstrate my ties to my home country, and that's why I
Exactly.
was
Yeah, so
rejected.
now I
Yeah.
think you have a better story of saying that you're coming back to your current place of work to assume a higher position or a promotional role. So you guys, like I'm always saying, it's not like we are trying to make things up, but Jobish is someone who has gotten a 214B before, which is a denial letter given to a non-immigrant visa applicant after they have been denied, outlying the number of things that they could not satisfy. So he's saying that his visa was denied because he did not have present intent to exit the United States after school, correct?
Yes.
So those are the questions they ask you. What's your plan after school? What do you plan to do after school? What if you get a job after school? You have to find a specific problem that you're looking to solve and provide a solution to that problem in your area of interest that is more convincing and has proven to work. Okay,
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
no problem.
Okay.
All right. Pakwesi, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, Pakwesi, tell us about your funding story.
Okay, so I have a scholarship that makes me eligible for the institution. The rest of my deficit will be taken care of by my uncle, Mr. John Kosidanso, who is a civil engineer and a former deputy chief of highways. He's the CEO and a majority shareholder in Quanos Consults, where they deal with the construction of buildings and high roads. My uncle has been the one sponsoring me since my undergraduate level, and he is committed and dedicated to sponsor me through my master's
Does
degree.
your uncle have children?
Yes, please.
How many children does your uncle have?
My uncle has two kids, of
And
which
what
he
is
has
their level of their education?
okay, one is at the university right now, and one just finished his
So what is
university.
your deficit?
My deficit is 27,440.
And how much is your uncle making?
He makes an annual income of $38,000.
So your uncle is using more than half of his income to fund your studies while he still has a kid in the university. Tell me about how he's going to make that happen.
Okay, so he has a treasure bill which will mature in November 9th, 2024, of which will be about 7 million Ghana cedis.
So you know treasury bills and stocks have they do fluctuate, right? What if something happens to maturity date and it is not able to mature? What are you going to do if I'm granted your visa and then your funding is not able to fund you anymore? So I've mentioned to you, I don't know, not to you, Pakisi, like I'm just saying a general statement that I did in a video that says that I think it was a do's and don'ts about bank statement. That's the title on the thumbnail. And I mentioned why you should not use stocks and real estate as a funding option, right? So I asked you a simple question. You told me your uncle has a child in the US. Sorry. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Oh, let's see. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Pakwesi, I'm going to give my feedback, but maybe you have to
I can hear you.
unmute yourself and speak, and let me see if I can hear you.
Okay, hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Pakwesi,
Yeah, hello. Hello, I
I
can
know
hear
you are
you.
speaking, but a call came through on my end, so it's my fault. I can't hear you. But my feedback was that um you are having an uncle that has a child in in the university, and your uncle is using more than half of their annual income to fund for you. They have a child in the university, right? And that does not sound right. And then I asked you how your uncle is going to do that, and you told me your uncle is going to use his fund from treasury bill. So I've also mentioned that real estate and then stocks, treasury bills cannot be used as a funding option in the visa interview, because we are looking for funds that are readily available, readily accessible, and sufficient when we need it for your tuition and all of that stuff. And so because this form of funding, real estate and stocks fluctuate a lot, right? And you cannot be guaranteed that this money is going to be available at this time. You can use it as a funding option. So you can actually come up with a different story that your uncle, even though has a child, if you are going to find more funding, then that's fine. But your story is not convincing enough. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. To tell me your uncle earns about 38,000, and then he's using about 22,000 to fund you, and they still have a child in the university. Even if it's in the home country, it's not easy to fund two college students. So if you are going to change the uncle to your stepdad, it works. Like, I have also said that the uncle is one overly used excuse at the visa interview. If you want to make sure that it's your uncle, then make sure that the funding is solid, because your uncle should be able to be at the rate where he's sponsoring somebody or sponsoring a university student. Then he should be earning more than what you are saying to be able to fund you and the other person.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think you should go work on that. I don't know how close your visa interview is, but you've been joining the session for quite some time.
It's on Monday. It's on Monday.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that then it means that the funding, like, did you put on your DS 160 that your uncle is sponsoring you?
Yes, please.
And did you put the number of children he has?
No, no, it's not there.
So then if the visa officer tells you that how many children does your uncle have, then I would say if none of the children have applied for a US visa interview before, then you should not mention that he has a child who is in college.
Okay.
Yeah, he can have you can have children who are in grade 2, grade 3. You can mention like they are in basic school, like grade 2, grade 3. That's one you don't spend much money. Then it would make sense that your uncle is sponsoring you. But if, like, do you get my point?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And I'm glad we just discovered this before you went, because if you told me he has an uncle, if he has a child in the university, I've not actually asked you that before. So just say that he has children who are like 2 and 3 years old, so he's not spending much on their education, and your uncle is planning to set up a business where you can be a major stakeholder as well, and that's why he's sponsoring you as a form of investment.
Okay.
Yeah. Sylvester is saying that African uncles are very generous. I bet you, like, everyone is saying their uncle is sponsoring them. So he also said you want to make sure you are saying your uncle's children are in elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah. Rafel, are you ready to be interviewed?
But please, can we continue with the other ones?
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, sure. Especially when your visa interview is on Monday.
yeah.
Okay, Patrick, so what's your plan after school? You are going for a bachelor's degree, right?
No, master's degree.
Okay, what's your plan after school?
Okay, so after successful completion of my 2-year master degree at University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, I returned back to Ghana to take up a role as a senior accounting assistant at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, College of Engineering, where I currently work. And my long-term plan is to
establish a non-for-profit making organization where I will organize free vacation classes for students who are needed.
What did you say? You are come to organize vacation classes for students?
So that's my long-term
Okay,
plan.
what's the other part? Sorry.
I'll return back to Ghana to fill a role as a senior accounting assistant at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, College of Engineering Finance Office, where I currently work right now.
Okay. So you currently work. Okay, that's okay. Did they promise you a job offer after school?
Not really.
So what's your guarantee that you come to meet this job?
Hmm. That's the thing. That's the thing.
So the visa officer doesn't know if they have requests, how should I put this? The visa officer doesn't know if they have extended you an offer or not. So you say that after school, my current company that I'm working with, after I inform them of my decision to go for a higher degree in the field where I'm currently working, they have provided me with a provisional job offer to take up the role of a senior finance analyst after um, the program because of my dedication in my current role. And so after school, you are coming back to us. So you are trying to make an assertion that you kind of have an assurance that you're coming to work with these people, and then after
Okay.
school, you come back to work with them.
Okay.
Okay. Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
How did you pay your service fee?
Okay, so I reached out to my DSO, who is in the person of Jessica Canute, who introduced me to an international student, and he helped me pay my service fee.
Okay. Okay. What else? You answered your funding question, your plans after school. Do you have any relatives in the US?
I don't have.
So I think more of your funding is going to your interview is going to be centered around your funding because your uncle is the one sponsoring you, and this is an overly used excuse at the visa interview. And your uncle also has children, so we want to make sure that the funds are sufficient and available for your use. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Rafel.
Evening. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Pakwesi, especially because your visa interview is on Monday. Maybe you want to stay on to listen to some feedbacks from people and other people's answers to see if you can make it like your story is better. Okay.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Raphael, are you ready to
Can you hear
listen?
me?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm ready. Fully ready.
All right. Tell me your funding story.
Okay, I have a $15,000 partial scholarship, and then I have a personal saving of over $7,000, and then a family funding of $8,000, and also an Empower loan of over $45,000, and my COA is
What do you
fifty-one
mean by
thousand
family
dollars.
funding?
My mom give me her funds, her pension funds, all to use.
So your mom gave you all her pension fund to use for school.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's a red flag because I'm trying to look at the sufficiency of funds. And pension funds, your mom can access or have access to it after a certain year. So it's your
No,
are you saying
she's retired,
okay,
so
so
she
after
has
your mom
access to
okay,
everything.
okay, so after your mom has given you her pension funds, what is your mom going to live on? So this one is telling
No,
me that
she
the funding is not sufficient because the person is giving everything they have to sponsor you. That does not satisfy the sufficiency of the funds. So your funds are
that's not everything
available.
she has.
You said you said she's using every bit of her funding, her pension.
No, no, she the pension, but she has shops, she has
Yeah,
other
so
things that's giving her
I
money.
don't
But that
want
particular one,
listen. I don't want you to be defensive. I'm talking based off the information you gave me. You told me your mom has
Okay.
yeah, so I didn't know your mom had other shops. That's why I always say that it's your responsibility to tell the visa officer about your funding story, because on the I-20 they
Okay.
are mentioning that personal funds. So if your mom is funding you, then you have to justify why your mom is using all her pension fund to sponsor you and why you secured a loan. You don't leave it to my discretion because I don't know you if your mom has shops or not. So Rafel, let's take
Okay.
it again. Tell me about your funding story.
Okay. I have a partial scholarship of about $15,000, and I have a personal savings of about $7,000. And I also have family funding from my mom. She gave me over $8,000. Then I have an international student loan of about $45,000 to cover CU the cost of attendance of about $51,000.
Okay. What's your plan after school, Rafel?
I'll be returning back to my place of work here in Nigeria with the government. I work with Benue State Urban Development Board, where I'll become the development control officer of Benue State. And I'll be designing and building for government mainly, and also private individuals.
All right. Do you have family, children and a wife in the back home?
No, I'm not married yet, but I'm in a serious relationship.
Okay. How did you pay your service fee?
I reached out to a priest in US who I used to know back here in Nigeria. So he helped me pay it.
Okay. Do you have any friends in the US?
I will not say a friend, but maybe an acquaintance, just knowing the person from here, not really close. Is
All
the
right.
priest. Yes.
What if you get a job offer after school in the US? What would you do?
I will decline because I really want to come back and work as a development control officer here in Nigeria, because I've started this journey way back since like 5 years ago to reach this level. So I won't just abandon it. I'll come back to it.
Okay, I'm approving your visa. For me, my only red flag with you is the sufficiency of your funds. So as long as you make the visa officer understands that your mom still has money and you also got Empower loan, that works. Because you were the Empower loan, you didn't even speak much about it. But even with the Empower, how are you going to pay your interest loan after school? How are you going to make your loan repayment during school? What is the plan around it?
Okay. The place where I work, the government, they are ready to pay me, pay 40% of the international student loan, and also be paying 50% of my monthly salary while I'm in school. So they help me pay starting from school.
Okay. Yeah, basically, yeah. So you have how, like, make me understand. Okay, you are joining this live session so that you get some value out of it. So let me
Yeah.
play the devil's advocate. Okay.
Okay.
What is your cost of attendance?
My cost of attendance is $51,000 a
And then
year.
how much is your cost of deficit?
$35,000.
And then you secured Empower loan of how much?
$45,000.
What is the role of your mom's fund in this?
Because my school, you have to pay for rent for 1 year straight, and also a food plan. So you have to add all those things to pay for the living cost. So her funding
So
will also
these
be very
so
useful
so
to me.
these are exceptions, right? Not
Yeah.
the visa officer doesn't know that you have to pay rent ahead of time. You have to pay living expenses ahead of time. So to me, you have secured an Empower financing that exceeds your deficit. So bringing in your mom's story, I've also said on the live session even today that the multiple sources of funding, it screams to me that you had to force so much to get the funding together, right? So if you have secured an Empower financing that is bigger than your cost of deficit, then you can go with a loan story that you have a loan of 40,000 or 45,000, which covers the entire cost of deficit for 35,000, and even with an excess of $5,000, the loan is going to give you a monthly a monthly living expenses amount of $2,000, which will help you make your loan repayment while you are in school.
Okay, that's a good one. Yes.
Because I'm coming for my visa interview. My mom is funding me. My empower, I've gotten an empower that is even in excess. What is the role of your mom playing in this scenario? Except for the fact that you have mentioned that you
Okay.
had to pay some months of money ahead of time, which as a visa officer is not logic. Like these are rare exceptions, right? To everybody, then you have like to all of the scenarios that we have seen, you go there and pay the rent monthly. So that's not even a story to tell. So if your mom has paid it for you, that's fine. It means that even with the empower, you might not use all the 45,000 that you have, but you are making
Yes.
sure that you are able to pay the loan during school, and you have excess loan. So if you have taken a loan, go with your full chest that you have taken a loan.
Okay, I get. I get. Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if that sounds better to you, and if anyone is on the call that have a feedback, you can also give. But personally, that's my point. Like that's my thought. Rahel, are
Okay.
you ready? Yeah. So Rafel, go work on that story. If you join the session again, I'm expecting you to tell me a story different from what you told me today, because it got me a little confused with your mom using their
Okay.
pension funds, especially when someone is using their pension funds. It tells me, I've also tell you that the funding, we are looking at three things. Your funding must be available to use, your funding must be sufficient, and your funding must be credible. Now, if you tell me that your mom is using all her pension funds without telling me that she has stores, then it means that the funding might not be sufficient, because the person is draining everything from they have. What are they going to eat? And you might not have like a 5 minute to explain your mom has stores and all of that stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Okay, Rahel.
Thank you.
Yes,
No
please,
problem.
I'm here.
Yeah. Tell me about your funding.
I was awarded a scholarship of 16,000 from the ETSU Gospel Choir, and additionally, my mom will be sponsoring my education. She has a total staff strength of 19, and she earns an annual income of 90 million naira, which is approximately $60,000. Also, she's got three offices in Lagos, Ibadan, and Benin City. She has been doing this business for the past 21 years.
Okay, so how are you funding your studies? So you said you have a loan or someone is funding you. I was trying to
I
type
was
what you.
awarded a scholarship of $16,000 from the ETSU Gospel Choir.
And then you go a deficit of how much? Like after the scholarship.
Okay, $25,853.
So now who is funding the 25,000? Is it Empower or a relative?
In addition to the scholarship, my mom will be sponsoring my education.
What job is
She's
Empower?
into She imports and exports construction materials for factories and home use. She has been doing this business for the past 21 years. So she's got a total staff strength of 19 and earns on an annual income on the average of 19 million naira, which is approximately 60,000 US dollars. Also, she's got three offices in Lagos, Ibadan, and Benin City.
Okay. What's your plan after school?
Upon the completion of my studies and achieving my career goal in becoming a pharmaceutical chemist, I'll be returning back to my home country as I plan on working with the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control in my own country. I want to be able to stop the spread of fake drugs, and getting relevant skills and knowledge from ETSU will help me in understanding the Nigerian pharmaceutical industry, and I am committed to using relevant skills and knowledge gained at ETSU to improve and advance the Nigerian health sector. Also, I want to be able to help people
Why did
by
you choose your
enlightening them.
program? Why did you choose this program?
I've always been fascinated by um, I've always been passionate about chemistry, and also I want to expand my knowledge on the molecular intricacies of chemical reactions and how they can be harnessed to produce new pharmaceuticals.
Okay. So do you have any family in the US?
No, I do not have. My families are in Nigeria.
Okay, so what if you get a job of after school? What would you do?
I understand the US has a diverse job opportunities, but I intend to come to my home country after taking up my composing national youth service program.
So
And
I've said that you don't
also,
want to say that you don't want to say any compulsory national after working. So don't say national youth program, just say after working as dot 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 to dot.
yes, ma.
Okay.
So after,
Yeah, I think you lost your train of thought. So maybe you can take it again.
okay, ma, please take the question again.
So I was asking you why you chose your program.
I chose chemistry because I've always been passionate about chemistry. Um, and also, I want to expand my knowledge on the molecular intricacies of chemical reactions and how they can be harnessed to produce new pharmaceuticals. So, going to the East Tennessee State University, they offer one of the basic um, major, which is chemistry major, so which aligns with my interest of studies. And after getting relevant knowledge and skills from there, I'll be able to come back to my home country to work.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm approving your visa because yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
with the funding, your mom is funding you, have a partial funding, and your mom is funding you. As long as you have her bank statement to demonstrate that she's able to fund you, it works. It works.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am,
Okay.
please, can you ask me some other questions? Like questions I did not prepare for.
Okay. Tell me about your school.
Okay, the East Tennessee State University was founded in 1911 with a singular purpose in order to improve the life of people within the region and also outside the region. The school has a mascot, which is Bucky the Pirate. The school offers over 140 academic major with over 400,000 students within the region and outside the US. Also, the school's president is Nolan Bryan. The school's color is gold and navy
Locate
blue.
me to your school.
Um, East Tennessee State University is nestled in the heart is nestled in the southern region of Tennessee. It is nestled in the Appalachian heart of Tennessee State.
Have you been to the United States before?
No, I haven't. This is my first opportunity going there, and I'm excited to grab it.
What will you specialize in for your degree?
I'll be pursuing a bachelor's degree in chemistry.
Do you know your professors at the university? What are their names?
No, ma. Unfortunately, I have not been acquainted with my professors.
Yeah, so maybe you want to check one or two professors in the school and know their names. All right.
Yes, ma.
Okay, yep. We have to go on with another. Tayo, have you been interviewed?
No, I've not.
Okay, we can do Tayo and Ernest, and then I'll admit the other people in the stage. Please take your time. I'll interview everybody. I just want to make sure that we are not rushing through making interviewing everybody. The quality of the interview should also count. That's why I'm asking more personal questions based on how you are answering the questions. All right, Tayo, tell me about your funding.
Okay. So I have a deficit of about $43,000, which will be paid by my uncle, who has been my guardian for about more than
Tayo,
10
does
years.
your uncle have children?
Yeah, he has two kids.
Tell me about your uncle's kids.
So he has a boy and a girl who are still in secondary school.
What is their level of education?
Secondary school.
Secondary school. Okay. So they know high school than secondary school. So in case they're asking you, make sure you're
Yeah, high
saying
school.
high school. Yeah. All right,
All right.
Tayo, what's your plan after school?
My plan after school is to take up a position of which I already have. That's as a co-founder and CTO at ARVR company, which was co-founded by me. And my plan is to use all the knowledge I must have gathered through my master's studies to actually improve the company.
Okay, so what if you get a job offer after school? What's your plan?
Since I already co-founded the company with a couple of friends, and I'm the CTO and the one actively involved in the development process of the technology behind the product. So I don't think I'll be taking any other position aside.
Tell me how many professors you know in your school and you know their names.
One professors that actually catch my eye in the University of Tennessee is Professor Yu Liang, whose research interests perfectly aligns with mine. And that's one of the reasons also why I chose the university.
Okay. So telling me that professor catch your eye, what do you mean? So you want to state that probably you were doing a
He
research
actually
and
has a
came across them or
research interest.
something?
Oh, he has a, when having checked his profile, he has a research interest in artificial intelligence, which is also aligned with my research interest.
All right. Okay. Approving your visa. Your uncle is funding you. So me, from personally, that's my opinion. I don't have so much confidence in my uncle, in the uncle story. So it's just up to your responsibility to like make it more convincing.
Okay, I understand. Actually, you'll be giving me a letter of sponsorship as well,
Yeah, right now
together
those
with
letter of sponsorship is even easy to get because you can get someone to write a letter and still put the name of that
he
person.
actually works as a legislator, and I'm sure he'll be using his official.
Head letter, right?
Yes.
The letterhead, yeah, that works.
Yes.
Okay, I'm proving your visa. Yeah.
Uh,
So Ernest, are
I,
you ready? Oh,
I'm
Tayo, do
ready.
you have your question? Tayo?
oh yeah, no. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. So your uncle story seems to be a genuine one. So make sure you are presenting it as confident as possible, genuinely, so that you get your visa approved, because people are putting people's name in the name of their uncle, which is getting that story overly used. Do you get it? Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to drop a link in the chat on YouTube. You can join the WhatsApp link. I just found a question that tells how to answer the questions. I'm going to drop that link, which will be helpful in trying to craft stories in the WhatsApp group. So if you are not in the WhatsApp group, you can join and then I'll share the link. All right, Ernest, are you ready?
Yes, please, I'm ready.
Ernest, tell us about your funding.
I've been awarded a graduate assistantship which covers my full tuition of $21,424. And also it covers part of my living expenses. I also have an annual stipend of $9,000, and my deficit is 8,833. And this will be covered by my stepdad in the person of Mr. Prosper Mensah. He's the Southern Regional Manager of Ulam Ingredients Ghana here in Ghana, and he manages the company's operations in the southern belt of Ghana. He has been working for Ulam Ingredients Ghana for the past 15 years, and he's committed to my educational pursuits. And he earns an average annual income of $50,000.
All right. Okay. Ernest, why did you choose this program that you're about to study?
I chose to pursue a master's in public administration with a focus in non-profit management because after my current organization I work with undertook an educational and literacy outreach in the northern region of Ghana, I witnessed firsthand the neglect of the girl child in many minority communities in that region. I realized that the girls go through a lot of challenges such as early child marriage, period poverty, and also limited access to quality education. And these experiences have ignited and fueled a passion within me to pursue a master's in public administration. And I'm confident this program would equip me with the skills and knowledge to empower these girls and also make a positive impact in many rural communities here in Ghana.
Okay. Andest, locate me to your school.
Georgia Southern University is located in Statesboro, to be specific, and is 200 miles away from Atlanta. It's located in the Bullock County, and Georgia Southern, yes, basically that.
All right. And then tell me about your school. Let me see the facts you know about your school.
Okay, Georgia Southern, Georgia Southern, ish. Georgia Southern's current president is Mr. Carl Merero, and the mascot of the school is Gas the Eagle. Georgia Southern was established in the year 1907, and the Department of Public Administration offers various concentration for aspiring public administration students to choose from.
Okay. What's your plan after school?
Upon completion of my studies, I'll return to my current place of work, Faith Foundation Garnet International, where I'll assume the position of the lead program coordinator. And I'll be working with various stakeholders like the local governments and also the Ministry of Women and Children Affairs to address complex social issues facing the girl child particularly. I'll be aiming to address issues like early child marriage, pure poverty, and limited access to quality education that affects the girl child in rural communities. One of the first projects I would like to take up would be to provide a secure and an enabling environment for the young girls to acquire vocational skills like catering and tailoring to help them earn a decent living for themselves and their families as well.
Okay. So I'm approving your visa. I don't have any much feedback. I like how your answers are finding a solution and a problem, and then personally, like, I don't have any feedback that much.
Okay,
It's
thank you.
just the funding, the fact that you don't have full funding, obviously, is
Yeah.
the problem. But then once you're able to justify that your sponsor is able to sponsor you and you have the necessary documents like bank statements, you should be good.
Yeah. My interview is on Tuesday actually, so
Okay. And you are using a loan, right?
no, my stepdad is
Oh,
sponsoring
yes, stepdad.
the $8,000.
So you have the full, like, kind of a full funding. Your only deficit is 8,000, which is funded by
Yes,
that, and you have the
yes,
guarantee
and
letter.
yes, that's the living expenses and the health insurance, the 8,000.
So yeah, I think you just have to make it clear that you have been able to secure a full scholarship for your tuition.
Tuition,
The
okay,
deficit of 8,000 covers your living expenses, which will be covered by your stepdad
okay,
during your program of study. Um, and then you talk about the job is, so you, in your answer today, you just mentioned the amount he's making at the last part, which I've always said that
yeah,
I think you should
yeah,
mention it at the
that's true.
beginning part,
I
because
actually
I was
forgot.
listening.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was listening
yeah,
to
that's
you.
true.
Yeah, so mention the annual income at the beginning of how much he's making. Like, my deficit of 8,000, which covers my living expenses, will be covered for by my dad. You don't.
Okay.
So did you even put in your DS-160 a different dad?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So it will be covered for by your stepdad in the person of this one. He's been a great pillar ever since your mom and your biological dad got separated, and he's
Okay.
committed to investing in your education for this period of time. He earns an annual income of this, so you want to make sure that like sometimes they think that we put our parents' name on it, but we say step parents because our parents don't have the money, but we don't even have step parent that exists. So you have to make sure that you're stating that your mom and your dad are no more, and he's been a great pillar in the life of you and your siblings, right? And so he's committed providing that. And 8,000 is not much, so you just need to be able to convince a visa officer to get your visa approved.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Precious. Are you ready?
Yes, please, I am.
Okay. I've added Bismarck to the page. All right. I do see 4 people in the waiting room. Please take your time. I'll add you all in due time. If today is the first time you are joining my live session, please do well to subscribe to the channel. And then turn on notification for this channel. We are doing visa preps until the end of July, so you'll be able to join these sessions when I go live, right? And we talk about the 214B, which is the denial letter. We do mock interviews, and we also talk about how to get your visa approved using loans. If you have applied for DV lottery or the diversity lottery before, how do you also go about that in the visa interview? So all of these are things that we do discuss. I have planned videos like how to navigate the airport as an international student when you are coming, how to book your flight and all of that stuff. So I promise that this channel will be useful. Just make sure you are subscribing. I've dropped a link to WhatsApp. Please join the WhatsApp group as well. People will be able to answer your questions, and then every question that you have will be answered. So Precious, let's do this. Tell me about your funding story.
Okay, so I've been awarded a scholarship of $18,500 from my school, and my deficit of $27,000 covered by my father in person of Mr. Rotimi Akinoye. My father is the CEO of Rockwell Investment Limited, a food distribution company that has been in existence for over 15 years. Is a major distributor for companies like Mama Go PLC and Farmers PLC of Nigeria. It distributes various food products and has 3 warehouses in Lagos, Nigeria. It makes an annual income of 200 million naira.
Okay. What's your plan after school?
Okay, upon completion of my bachelor's degree, I'll return back to my country, firstly to obtain a license which should enable me work as a nurse from the Nursing and Midwives Council of Nigeria. Then thereafter, I'll take up a role as a nurse at the Federal Hospital, Ayaba, Lagos, where I would work as a nurse, specifically in the mental health sector, in which I'm using my skills and knowledge gathered to take care of patients with mental health issues and nurture them into recovery. In the long run, I also plan to be conducting seminars and workshops for people to enlighten people, especially the community at large, about the importance of mental health care. And yes.
All right. Why did you choose this program? What caused you to choose this program?
All right. I've been very passionate about nursing, and I love the fact that nurses are very close to patients and have the capacity to influence growth and recovery of their patients. And in addition to that, based on research, I realized that there's another need for attention to mental health care in Nigeria, in the sense that there are only about 350 psychiatrists in the country, and over 80% of people with mental health issues do not have access to good health care. This shows the urgent need for attention to the mental health care in Nigeria. And pursuing this course will give me the skills and the knowledge and exposure to help me to return home when I return home to provide effective care for people with mental health issues in Nigeria.
All right. How many professors do you know in your school and they know their name? Tell me 2 professors in your school that you know their name.
Um okay, I don't know that.
You don't know that, so make sure you are researching about that, because if it's part of your research to know certain professors in your school. At least it just tells how you have researched about the school.
Oh wait, can I say like the dean of the college, or
Yeah,
you
so
know
maybe you can say that during your application process, you go in touch with the dean of the college in the person of this. He assisted you with answering your questions that you had about the application process and the funding issues, like this kind of stuff. It just tells that you did some work, underground work to get here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Cojo, are you ready to be interviewed?
Yes,
Precious,
I
I
have
hope
some
you don't have.
questions.
You said?
Okay. I have some questions, please.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so if like about it's about like the funding part. So if I say that my dad earns maybe like 100 million annually, and in the bank statement, should it like be the exact 100 million in the bank statement?
No, your dad can earn an 100 million, and then he has a bank statement that has a less amount because definitely he does some expenses. You just want to make sure that the amount in
Mhm.
the bank statement is sufficient to cover your deficits, and a certain amount that is more than the deficit.
Okay. Then please also lastly, please, what is the asking? Because I was previously denied last year, so I've been trying to like figure
You
out what I can
you
say
visit
when they
what?
ask. I said I was previously denied a
Mm-hmm.
visa last year when I applied. So like I'm figuring out what I can say when he ask me if he ask me what has changed since the last time.
Yeah, so you went for the visa interview and you know what has changed. So this time around, what has changed? Let's look at how your interview went the last time and tell me what has changed. Is it the funding story? Do you now have a better
Yes,
sense
yes.
of how you come
I
back?
have a better funding
Yeah,
than
so
last time.
when they ask you what has changed, then you have a better funding, right? You have a better funding because you've secured a scholarship, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So it's just about reassessing yourself with your previous interview and how you are going to do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Kojo, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Kojo, tell me about your funding story.
Okay, so I've secured a student loan of nearly 26,000 from Empower, and the school has given me a scholarship of $8,200, and I have a deficit of $14,000, of which my senior brother Edem Donko, who works with Ghana Revenue Authority as a senior.
Kojo, so I have a question. I want to understand. You have your deficit will be covered by Empower financing, your personal funds, and your brother, correct?
Sure, exactly.
So the way you said it was a bit confusing. Tell me about your funding story. So I was able to secure a merit-based scholarship of $2,500 from my school. Additionally, I have been able to secure a student loan of 45,000, which will cover maybe 70% of my cost of deficit, and the remaining of my deficit will be funded for by my brother and my personal funds.
Okay,
So what is your
okay.
total deficit?
So my total deficit is $14,200. And my brother, who works with Ghana Revenue Authority as a senior administrative officer, will be supporting me with $5,000. And he earns between $40,000 to $50,000 annually. Personally, I have saved nearly $25,000 over the 6 years period of working, and that will suffice for the remaining deficit.
Okay. What's your plan after school?
Okay, after school, I intend to return to my homeland and take the role of a project manager after my studies. My company is at the moment expanding to other parts of the country, and there is a need for a project manager. And having spent the last 5 years with the company, they have confidence in me to take up the role of a project manager. And therefore, after my education, I'll be returning to my homeland to take that position of a project engineer to help my company realize its long-term goals.
Okay.
I have to say something more.
No, I'm just trying to put together the story, like the funding and all of that. What do you intend to? What impact do you think after securing this education? What impact are you going to make in your field? So you said you're coming to set up a
Okay,
higher career. So what impact are you going to?
exactly. Okay, so my program is engineering management, and after my education, this program is going to help me to combine technical engineering skills and knowledge with business and administrative principles to be able to lead a team of engineers and projects effectively.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any family in the US?
No, please, I don't have any family in the US.
Okay. How did you pay your service fee?
Yes, so with my service fee, I contacted my school official, Leon Porter, who assisted me in paying it electronically.
Okay. How many professors did you speak to during your application process?
Okay, so I spoke with Professor Dennis Piver, and he advised me on how to apply for the scholarship, which I was able to do at the end of the day, and hopefully, and got the scholarship eventually. Is that right? It's a cooked up story.
So, like maybe while you're applying, you reached out to a professor. Um,
Okay.
you reached out to the dean of students to understand the program and how the curriculum was going to be like. So it's more or less you're telling the person that, oh, I had interest in this program. I reached out to find if it's
Okay.
aligned with my career goals. So you can say something along those lines.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
And please,
All right.
about this question, please, there's one particular question that I have a way of which I want to answer. I don't know whether it's right. This
Okay.
question about why why the US,
Okay.
why the US, and this is the answer I have for it. That over the years, professionals in my line of work with a qualification from the US are highly competitive on the job market,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the jobs tend to prefer giving them senior roles compared to the other professionals.
So why
Is
the
this
US
okay?
can be a lot of things, right? Is your program while you were researching about the
Engineering
program,
management.
yeah, but while you were researching
Engin-
about the program, maybe schools from the US came up on the top chart, and that triggered your interest to look more in the US. And then once you chance on this school, then you say maybe the curriculum of the school or of the program also attracted you and convinced you that this was a program that aligns with your career goals, something of the sort. It can just be one fact or two facts about the school or the program.
Sure, sure. Also, I would like to add that upon researching on the school, I realized that the school um, utilizes more practical and innovative system of study and exposes students to new technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning technologies, and also the school tend to bridge the gap between students and the industries by means of securing internship opportunities for students, which tends to um, help
Give
students gain more
you with your hands-on experience, right?
exactly hands-on experience and therefore become ready for the job after completion.
Okay.
I think I should try to put it in a
In a
way that it will be
way, yeah.
presentable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the only thing. Yeah. So when is your interview?
17th of this month.
Okay. This month. That's you have at least like 10 days, so you should be good. I'll just put together the stories, and then one or two constant preps should be fine.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Please, Vincent has a question in the comment section. If you want to check it out and help him, I will really appreciate. Grace, are you ready to be interviewed?
Yes, please. I am.
All right, Grace, tell us your funding story.
All right. I'm privileged to have a scholarship of 30,000 US dollars, and my deficit, which is 12,599 US dollars, will be covered by my stepbrother, who works as a civil engineer at the Anglo Gold Mine in Takwa. He imports and sells cars from China, and then he owns a 3 apartment hostel at the University of Mines campus in Takwa. He has decided to sponsor my studies, especially me and he's proud of me, and he
Grace,
has
we
gained
can't
much
hear you. We
interest
can't
in
hear
my
you. Your line
studies,
is
especially
breaking.
me. Hello, hello.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
All right.
So can you start with your funding
I'm
story?
privileged to. Yes, please. I'm privileged to receive a scholarship worth 30,000 US dollars from my school, and my deficit, which is 12,000, for by my stepbrother in the person of Emmanuel Eduse. He works as a civil engineer at the Anglo Gold Mine, Ashanti in Takwa. He sells and imports cars from China, and he owns a 3 apartment hostel on the campus of the University of Mines because as a first generation college student, he's so proud of me. And then he has gained much interest in my studies, especially being a female offering chemistry. He earns an annual income of 120,000 US dollars and a monthly income of 11,000 US dollars.
Who are you talking about? Your line was breaking. Your uncle or your father?
My stepbrother.
Can you just say your brother?
Okay. But please, with the surname being different, won't it cause a
It
problem?
doesn't matter. In the US, someone can have a husband, and the husband and the wife even have different surnames. So if your brother is sponsoring you, that's fine. It doesn't need to be
Okay.
yeah. Cause my step brother,
All right.
that sounds like a long thing. All right. Tell me about why you chose the program.
All right. Um, Malaria has increased recently and then claiming lots of lives, especially taking lives of children under 5 years. And research has indicated that this as a result of the malaria parasite developing resistance to the anti-malaria drugs given. So there is a need to research and come out with more efficient drugs. Pursuing Master of Science degree in chemistry will give me knowledge and then will give me advanced knowledge to synthesize and then come up with more efficient anti-malaria drugs, which will help decrease the mortality rates here in Ghana.
Okay. And do you have any siblings in the US? What's your plan after school?
After school, I'll come back to Ghana and take up a role at the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Research as a researcher and then collaborate with other anti-malaria researchers to come up with to design and synthesize more effective anti-malaria drugs.
All right. And okay, so your plan after school, your funding story. How did you get to know about this program that you applied for? Is Grace still here? Okay. Comfort, are you
Yes,
ready?
please. Please, I couldn't hear the question.
I said, how did you know about this program that you applied for?
I had a general search when I was ready for graduate schools. So I wanted a program that had a concentration in organic the school.
Are you done?
Yes, please.
I don't know if it's your network or you are taking breaks to think about. So how did you know about this program? You said what? I didn't hear you. Like I'm not able to hear you fully. So maybe I'll take another person and then you have to join again. Hello.
Hello, I don't know whether it's the
I guess
network.
it's the network. I'm like, how did you hear about this program?
All right. Um, when I was ready for graduate school, I had to search for schools that offer chemistry with concentration in organic synthesis. And then North Carolina was one of the few schools that offer such a program. That is how come I chose that program in the school.
Okay. Okay. Um, Grace, I don't want to stress you with your network, so we will leave you here today. I think your funny story, I just need you to say that your brother, because your brother doesn't have to have the same surname with you. And then your stepbrother sounds more or less like the person might not have the commitment to continue to sponsor you, okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Comfort, are
all
you
right.
ready?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Comfort, what has changed about your funding story?
A lot has changed. The last time I was not able to demonstrate my activities for going to the United States, and now I am fully prepared and I can tell exactly what I'm going there to do. Also, my husband contract is almost over and he will be coming back to Ghana in August. So I discussed it with my daddy and he agreed to sponsor me. He earns 200 US dollars annually and he owns
Two
a
hundred dollars or 200 what?
$200,000. $200,000 and he
What job
owns
is
a
your
whole
dad doing?
yeah, he owns a wholesale pharmacy which he distributes drugs to the small pharmacies and to other communities with a staff strength of 18, and he is currently building a hospital which he is about to complete, and he wants to sponsor my education abroad for me to come back and take care of the hospital as the senior nurse in charge. In addition to what my daddy will be providing, my husband was also able to save 1,500 150,000 US dollars in his account during his contract work at Germany, and he will be using that as a support to what my daddy is providing.
Okay. Tell me about why you chose the program you are going to pursue.
I chose general nursing because of my fascination in how to care for patients. I lost a junior brother in years back who was suffering from congestive heart failure due to the nurses' malpractice in the hospital in my community. So since then, I said to myself that I will become a nurse in order to provide a quality health care to the people of my community and anywhere that I found myself. So after my high school, I had the opportunity to attend the 3 years program in nursing at Dadia Swaba, which have also given me the opportunity to engage with so many patients during my service and then the work that I'm doing now.
Okay. Papa, I've seen you, okay? Okay, Comfort, do you have children? You mentioned that your husband is on a contract, so it means you're married. Do you have children?
No, I don't have kids.
Okay. So your husband is on a contract. What do you mean?
And he was actually sent by an MTN company to go to Germany to work in order to gain an experience. And the contract is almost over in August, and he will be coming back to Ghana to join the
MTN company in Ghana. He was the one sponsoring me, but as he's coming back now, he will not be earning the euros anymore. So
you don't have to tell the visa officer that your husband got the
okay,
opportunity to go on a work travel to Germany, and now he is coming back to assume the role of whatever he's currently coming to do in Nigeria or Ghana, right? And
okay, yeah,
what has changed? The funding story has changed. Your dad decided to sponsor your education. He earns an annual $200,000. Your dad deals with the distribution of pharmaceutical the distribution of pharmaceutical drugs or what.
drugs,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So you just want to make sure you are putting your points across eloquently. My only feedback for you is that you were breaking along the line, so I couldn't catch
okay,
up on the stories. But it's because you've joined the you've joined the series for quite some time, and so I know what you were saying. So make sure that
okay,
you're putting your thoughts together. More of your answers were like you are narrating like a story. Not all these officers will give you 2 minutes to answer a question. They can give you as less as 30 minutes, and it's up to you to make the most out of those 30 minutes, because while you
okay,
are talking, they are cutting you in. And in your first 30 seconds, if they are not able to take notes based off the series of questions they've asked you, they can just decide to deny you. So make sure you are speaking eloquently as possible.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Counsellor, are you ready?
No, please, I have a question.
Okay.
My question is, if they ask you, can you tell me your study plan? Like, how do I frame it? Your
Your
study
study
plan.
plan, I think
I
your
wrote
study
something
plan is
like,
more of less about your program, right? So tell me about your
yeah,
study plan. My program will be for the duration of 2 years, and then I would have to take about 30-hour credits, because you don't want to use about, but I'm just making a scenario. I have to use about 30 hours credit, or make about 30 hours to complete this program. This program consists of a thesis or a research and a number of courses, including, then you mentioned a number of courses, some courses like negotiation, communication management, survey, settlement planning, all of those things. So it's more about what do you know about the program you are coming to do, because you should know something to be able to complete it.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So just talk
okay,
about the program, what you know, how are you going to do your research? Is it thesis? Is it a write-up or a capstone? Right? So put emphasis on those things. Okay.
okay. And another thing, like if they ask you, what do you plan to do for your fellow student on campus?
So you plan to take activities in extracurricular activities. You also want to make sure that you are being useful to your peers by joining or coming up with informative group sessions and peer sessions. Um, Basically, that's what I can talk of mind. Like, just be extracurricular activities, and then saying that you do like group sessions that they will be useful to your knowledge that you know, and then you can also learn from them.
Okay, okay, yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. Counsellor, are
And
you ready? Comfort, do you have a question again?
I wanted to ask like my performance today, you know.
Yeah, that's the feedback I gave you. Me, I know your story, but I just
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
make sure that the visa officer doesn't know the story. So if you are giving the answers, be concise and precise, and provide the points eloquently, right? Because you are
Okay,
taking pauses that might let the person understand the story. But because I knew it, that's why I didn't ask follow-up questions. So make sure you are doing
okay.
that. Yeah. And
So
then I told you that you should not even mention that your husband is on a contract, but you repeated it again. You don't
okay,
want to
okay,
mention contracts there, because I don't know how useful that is. Your husband is on a work travel, and then he's
okay, okay,
currently will be
okay,
returning back to
okay,
your home country to assume the position of a structural engineer or something.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Counsellor, are you ready?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Tell me about your funding story.
My deficit of 36,750 will be taken care of by my uncle, who earns an annual income of $124,000. He has a pharmacy where he distributes drugs to the local communities drugstores, and he also owns a transport which he hired to Adamos Mining Company to take their workers morning and afternoon and evening. He also owns an oil palm plantation with a staff strength of 18. He has also established a poultry farm where he raised 10,000 birds for his income.
Okay, your uncle is sponsoring you, right? So how you didn't state
Yes.
your daddy, your uncle's annual income. You just started talking about his business. So how am I supposed to have the perspective as a visa officer how much support your uncle is providing?
Uh, pardon. I first said it. Probably you didn't hear me. I said he earns an annual income of $120,000
Okay,
annually.
so what business is he doing that is giving him $120,000?
Yeah, he is the assistant operation manager at Takwa Gold Mines, and he also owns a pharmacy where he distributes drugs to the local drugstores. And then he owns an oil palm plantation with a staff strength of
And
18.
did you say your uncle has children?
He has 2 children.
What's the level of education for his children?
The first one is in high school, and the second one is in the basic school.
Okay. So your uncle is sponsoring you. Why did you choose this program that you are studying?
Yeah, I chose this program because I am currently working with a company where the aim and objective of the company is to plant rubber tree for export. Now, this project of the company has its objective in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which include no poverty, life on land, climate actions. So this particular project aim particularly to combat the issue of global warming. So planting more trees gives the world a better way of solving the global warming issue, which is mostly the problem with the United Nations struggling to achieve.
Okay. What's your plan after school?
My plan after school is to come back to the company to take up a managerial position to continue our project, which has the next consignment to start in 2026.
Okay, and so you know your comeback story. You're funding your uncle is sponsoring you. Okay, so I know there are lots of job opportunities in the US, right? What if you get a job
Yeah.
opportunity after school?
Yeah, well, per the conditions of the F1 visa, any F1 visa holder is supposed to come back within 60 days after the completion of the program. So it will be difficult to take up a job once the agreement, for example, says after completion you have to come back to your home country.
Okay. Counsellor, you also want to state you told me a problem in I've told you that for your comeback you have to find a problem back in the home country and provide a solution back in your home country, right? So you are
Yes.
committed to that problem and solution. So while you are stating that the immigration, so for you, if not for the immigration laws, you wouldn't have gone back to your home country. That's what you are recently telling me. So you want to state that even though like you have gotten a job offer in the United States, your main goal was to come to acquire this degree to go back to solve the problem of this and provide the solution. That's why you are going back. And also with the funding, I
Okay.
didn't want to drag you that much because I thought I'd given the feedback earlier on this call today that if your uncle has questions and your uncle is sponsoring your uncle has children and your uncle is sponsoring you, then he brings the question about is your uncle's funds sufficient to fund you? Because someone my friend that joined the session says from my personal view, Counsellor should reframe his funding story. His uncle having 2K to cater for to cater for his basic and in secondary school is not a convincing story enough. And when I do this, people get defensive because it's like I'm dragging their story in the mud. But like, if you are being the third party listening to the story, your uncle is more or less not your father, right? So your uncle has got a life. So if you tell me your uncle is sponging a deficit of about 8,000, it makes sense. But for your uncle to cover a huge deficit, which might be even like almost half to his annual income, then you might have a certain relationship with your uncle that you want to emphasize first of all. And then your uncle
Yes.
must also, um if they have children, then you are talking that the children are in basic school. Like basic means that they are not spending much, but even in high school here,
Yes.
it costs much to sponsor high school. Do you get it? So if you have a better
Yes.
story than like your uncle, that works. But if your uncle is making that much money, then it's up to you to convince the visa officer that your uncle has 2 children, he sponsors you, but then he's able to sponsor you to the end of the program. Because I used to ask questions like, what if your uncle withdraws his financial support? What would you do? Let's say I'm asking you, what if your uncle withdraws his financial support? What would you do?
Yeah. I have my senior brother who also works as Thermaport, receiving an annual income of $60,000. So, because my uncle is the twin brother of my mother, that is why he has
Stila,
that
the
that la-
person the person doesn't know all of this explanation, right? And they might, like, honestly, they
Okay.
give you like 30 seconds to make a point and they cut you off. So you are not there to
Okay.
explain the relation with your mother and the age and all of that. What if your uncle withdraws his financial support? You want to assure the visa officer that your uncle has sponsored you before, or your uncle has been a strong pillar in your life and is committed, or you have his personal commitment to see you through your higher education. Because bringing in your brother as a backup means that you are not rest assured that your uncle will sponsor you. Once you are not rest assured
Okay.
of your sponsor, then I'm not giving you a visa, because anything can change and you can become a liability to the US.
All right.
So you just want to restate that you have your uncle's continued support. They are committed to sponsor you. He's been a strong pillar in your family because your dad is not maybe financially stable or something. Because for an uncle to take over, where is your dad? Like, I'm just asking as a visa officer. Do you get it?
Oh, okay. He has passed away.
Yeah, then you, like, your uncle has been a strong pillar since your dad passed away in the year 20 whatever. So it's like your dad is not there. But I've told you guys that the uncle is an overly used story at the visa officer, the visa interview, that it just keeps getting people's visa denied. And most of us joining this call
Okay.
always are uncles, and it's making it hard to get approvals. So when you come on, I'm not about to lie to you that I'm approving your visa when I know the story is not right. There's a
Okay.
comment in the session that says, good point, Amy. Think about it this way also, Counselor. Why should he support your grad school with all these monies when he has exactly my question to all of you? If your uncles are sponsoring you, your uncle has got a life, he's got children, he's got a wife. So if he's using almost half of his salary to sponsor you, it's questionable. Do you get it? Yep. Stanley, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, Stanley, tell me about your funding story.
Okay, I have secured a loan of 53,800 from Empower Financing, which was accepted by the University of Louisville, and a scholarship of 2,700 from the University of Louisville. These funds are readily available to cater for my tuition, living expenses, and health insurance. And
Who
the
did you say
Empower
is
loan
funding you?
terms,
Empower?
yeah, Empower.
Okay.
The Empower loan terms are flexible, and that I have to pay back the loan within 11 years, 6 months period. And during my period of study, I will pay
So for
$753
Empower,
each
we've spoken
month.
about this before. If you are using Empower loan, It's also like any form of funding. You want to explain in the visa interview that you've been able to secure an empower loan that is covering your entire cost of tuition, your living expenses, and your miscellaneous expenses. Empower is flexible, that is giving you a period of 10 years after school to pay for this loan. And after school, you have about 6 months to get your life together and start repaying the loan. And then the visa officer will come ask you, how do you plan to pay the interest loan while you are in school? Okay, so visa officer, the Empower financing will be giving me money for my living expenses. This money will be given to my school, and after my school have taken my tuition, they reimburse me with the living expenses. My living expenses for the semester will be about $10,000, or my living expenses for the month will be about $2,500. My main anticipated living expense will be my rent, which means that I'll be left with about 1,200 after paying my rent and catering for my food. And so you would have 1,200 to make the student loan repayment. So if you are telling this story, you don't need a third party like your uncle or your sister to fund you for your loan repayment.
Okay. Last time I told you my story that as the only child to my mom, she's ready to give me $10,000 to repay the loan as I'm in school, and she sells mining equipment, and
Okay,
she's
so
been
your
in
mom,
business
you
for
are the
about
one that
17
your
years.
mom has given the money already, right?
Yes, so she'll give me the money to deposit in my personal account
Okay,
to
that
repay.
works. So my mom, as the only child to my mom has given me an amount of $10,000 to deposit in my personal account to use to make this monthly loan repayment. I think we made the calculation, and then it was enough to make that payment.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about
And
what's your plan after school.
my plan after school is to come back to Ghana and address the challenge of keeping student record at the University of Education Winneba, where I currently work as a teaching assistant. I identified this problem while I'm with the university.
Okay, tell me about your program and why you chose the program.
Okay, my program is a 1 year course in a 1 year master's course in business analytics with credit hours of 30. It has a concentration of artificial intelligence and also deep learning, and it focuses on courses such as Python for business analytics. This program will give me the necessary skills to come back to Ghana after my program to address the challenge of keeping students record or managing student record at the University of Education Winneba, where
All right,
I
Stanley.
currently
How did you pay
work
your
as a teaching assistant.
service fee?
I paid it through the Western Union office here in Ghana.
Okay, I think your only portion will be your student loan part, and then you are getting your mom to give you 10,000. You are lucky, so just make sure you are emphasizing on that. So the funds is available for the student loan repayment. Okay.
Okay. So how is my performance today?
Me, I think, yeah, I think for you, I didn't have any question. It was about that day. I didn't understand what you meant by your mom was giving you the personal funds or was going to give you the personal fund. But if I understand you right, she has the money. She's giving it to you. Put it in your account and use this to make your loan repayment. So personally, I think that's okay. And then with why you want to come back, yeah, why you want to come back to, you want to say that you have a problem and a solution, so that works. One comment as a feedback is he should talk with confidence. I think you can also see it in the chat as well. So you at
Yeah, I
least
can
have a
see that.
student loan, and you even have a way to repay the student loan. So you just have to man up and speak with confidence, because even if you can't speak confidently here, then the embassy has a very intimidating environment. So you want to make sure that like you're being mindful of that.
Yeah, well noted. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right.
I think Patmos, I've not heard today. And then we'll do Nana and we'll end the session for today. Na has been trying to join, but for some reason, I'm not able to admit Na into the room. All right, Patmos.
Yes.
Yeah, Patmos, how are you funding your studies?
My deficit of $22,110 will be funded by my uncle, Mr. Providence Osei, who works at the Tran Gold Mines in the Western North region of Ghana as a human resource manager. He's been my mentor and my motivator to achieve higher heights in my educational career. He sponsored me to Rwanda and Dubai as part of my 20th birthday celebration in April.
Okay, does your uncle have children?
He has 2 younger children.
What do you mean by younger children?
They are below 10 years.
Okay, and he's funding a deficit of how much?
$22,110.
He makes an annual of how much?
Over $80,000.
Okay. And you said his children are younger, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is it bachelor's or master's?
Bachelor of Science degree in cybersecurity defense.
All right. So Patmos, why didn't you pursue your bachelor's degree in your home country, but rather the US?
Okay, I chose to pursue my Bachelor of Science degree in cybersecurity defense in the USA because cybersecurity is a very critical field which needs intensive training from highly skilled people in order for me to become a professional. The United States has some of the best expertise in lecturers in this field of study, of which I'll get more technical know-how from them. The United States also has many research opportunities for students and a vibrant campus life filled with activities to make students vibrant on campus. Their certificates are also acknowledged worldwide.
All right. Patmos, what if you get a job offer after school? What's your plan?
Okay, I solely went to the United States to pursue a 4-year Bachelor of Science degree in cybersecurity, of which I'll return to Ghana even though I have a job offer, because the United States has some of the best expertise, and Ghana being the developing country, we need more expertise in this field as we are trying to make our country a better place. So I'll be more useful to Ghana than the United States.
Okay. And what's your comeback story? Like, what do you plan to do after school?
After completing my 4-year Bachelor of Science degree in cybersecurity defense, I will return to Ghana and complete my 1-year mandatory national service. And after that,
So you don't
as far
do that. You don't mention 1-year mandatory national service. They don't know much national service. So maybe after completing, you plan to take up a role in. Then you mention the name of the company, right?
okay,
If the company has promised you an offer already, this is where you say it. If you are now looking to work in your dream company, this is where you say it. They don't know national service. Even when you're in the US, there's something called OPT. If I'm doing OPT and you ask me, like what I currently doing, I don't say I'm doing OPT. I do say that I'm going to work. Okay. Yeah, and
okay,
then my friend on the call says, guys, there's no way the embassy will know whether your uncle's children are young or not. It is just better and safer to say they are of age and working. That way, there is no financial pressure. That's a good point. Outu Patmos. So everyone using an uncle as a story. This is also a good point that your uncle's children are currently working. So it means like there is no financial pressure on your uncle to cater for his children. That's why it even makes that much sense, because now your uncle doesn't have any pressure and they are sponsoring themselves. Vivian, I can't see you on the call. I can't see you trying to join. Unless you are trying to join with a different name. Are you now? Yeah. Patmos has dropped too, but Patmos, we're talking about your uncle being your sponsor, and if you can alter the fact that he has children he's taken care of, you just maybe want to do away with that and say that your uncle's children are of age and then they are working, especially if your uncle is old. But if your uncle is not old and you put it on your DS1 that your uncle is your father, and it doesn't make sense to say his children are working based off his age, then you want to be mindful of that. Vivian, I don't know. Can you reply me in the comment section? Are you trying to join? Because I can't see you trying to join. I can see Na trying to join, but I am not able to admit now for some reason. And then I can see Clinton trying to join. So I'll add Clinton. Comfort has been interviewed already. And we've Stanley, have you been interviewed already?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So Nana, are you the same as Na?
No, please.
Okay. So let's do Nana and then we'll do Clinton. Nana, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you too?
I'm good. How are you planning to fund your studies?
I'm being sponsored by my uncle, Mr. Ibrahim Issa, who is also the CEO of 68 Events and Family, that the family
I can't
business
hear
where I've been
you.
working.
Nana, I can't hear you.
And please, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm being sponsored by my uncle, Mr. Ibrahim Issa, who is the CEO of the family business where I've been working for the past 5 years. And he's also a civil engineer and earns an annual income of $150,000. And also has apartments in Accra, which he has rented out and yields an income of approximately $90,000 each year. And he's sponsoring me because, having worked with him for the past 5 years, he believes I have gained a deeper understanding of the business operations and will be in a better position to return and take over the management of the business whilst he proceeds on retirement from active work.
That's your uncle, right?
Yes,
Does your uncle have children?
he has one son who is back in Ghana after studying in the UK and is currently working as a doctor at the University of Ghana Medical Center.
Okay. Has your uncle sponsored anyone before?
Yes, he sponsored his only son to study in the UK and is back in Ghana working as a doctor at the University of Ghana Medical Center.
Okay, so I asked this question because also if you are asked that question, the visa officer is trying to assess if your uncle has sponsored someone before, and it means that they have like continued commitment. Some Papa says that Nana, that's a good story because your uncle's son is a doctor, so it means that son is not being a financial burden. And Nana, what's your deficit?
24,014,
And your uncle makes an annual of how much?
150,000.
Okay, so that's more than like way more than half if the bank statement is credible. The bank statement is credible, correct?
Yes, it is.
And then you have his guarantee letter, right?
Yes, I have a letter of sponsorship from him and also an offer of employment which states that I am to work with the company for a minimum of 10 years after I return and take up the CEO role.
Okay, so you are going to study a master's degree.
Yes, a master's in business administration, the concentration in finance.
Okay, have you been working for a while now?
Yes, I've been working in the company for 5 years now, but then from between when I left school and now, 7 years.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you have a certain work experience because just having a master's degree does not guarantee that you can be a COO. So what we are also talking about our postgraduate plans, we should make sure they are realistic. All right, so Nana, what did you say your plan after school was?
After completion of the program, I'll return to the family business where I've been working for the past 5 years to take up the management of the company whilst my uncle proceeds on retirement from active work. And I'll be implementing the practical strategies and knowledge gained from the program to lead the expansion efforts of the business across regions in Ghana.
Okay. And do you have any siblings in the US?
No, I don't.
Have you been denied a visa before?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure so I can ask you what has changed. And yeah, basically to me your funding story sounds good and you look like you're coming back to work in a family business, so that's a better story. You don't have any family in the US, so that does not scream any strong ties to the US or any immigrant intent. So yeah. Um,
Okay.
do you have any questions?
No, please.
Okay. Clinton, are you ready to be interviewed?
Yes, please, I am.
All right. Clinton, tell us your funding story.
Okay, so I've been awarded a partial scholarship of 12,500, and I've secured Empower loan of $45,000, and I have a personal fund of $12,600 to support my education in the master's degree in project management at University of Northeastern.
All right. So you have scholarship from the school, correct?
Yes, partial scholarship.
And then who is funding the rest?
The rest is being funded by M Fund and my personal fund.
M Fund is a student loan.
Educational loan, yes, please.
Is it Empower or a different one?
Sorry, Empower. Empower.
Okay. Okay. So how do you plan to make your interest loan repayment while you are in school?
Because of the sensitive role I play in my current organization, I've been given my sensitive role I play in my current organization as a project communication coordinator. I've been given a steady leave with pay, and my monthly salary is 18,507 Ghana cedi. And I also have a personal business that fetch me $18,000 per annum. So these are the accumulated money that I'm going to use to support or do the repayment of my Empower loan.
Okay. Clinton, tell me why you chose the program you chose.
So I opted for project management because currently in my organization we do not have expertise in agri-tech industry. So most often when we are embarking on the project, we usually outsource from neighboring country, which costs the company a lot of money. Aside that, it delays the project more often, especially when the consultant delays a bit. And this and other reasons such as me having the technical know how, but the practical aspect is not there. So this motivated me to um, go in for project management.
Okay. Do you have any travel experience?
In the past 10 years, no.
Okay. Okay. And then what work are you planning to take up after school to help you make your interest loan repayment?
So after school, I have a bond with my company to serve 5 years for granting me steady leave with pay. So I'll be returning back to take position of a project manager, whereby my salary is expected to be increased. So after school, I'll be coming back to my home country to take up that position and also to return back to my family and my children.
Okay. I'm granting you a visa.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any question, Clinton?
My little problem is I feel like I shake a bit when I'm being interviewed. I think this is my second time being interviewed, and so I just want to see from your end. Do you also feel the same thing? So that I
No,
know.
I don't see I don't see that. I think you are really confident, but it's good you are noticing that yourself. So you like I'm like the visa interview me when I got I was very intimidated because the environment in itself is intimidating. So
Okay.
like And I think most of the time our fear stems from the fact that what if our visa is denied, right? And
Exactly.
so, like, what's the worst that can happen, right? Your visa is denied. Like, what's the worst? So think about what's the worst. The worst you will go through rather than mastering the confidence, because they are reading your mannerisms and your body language as well. So you want to make sure that even though you are frightening or you are shaking, you don't want to make it very obvious. And then you go with the natural flow. To me, your pace of flow and then your conversation didn't sound like you were frightened. It was
Okay.
more confident. So I just think it's you.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you so much for the
No
feedback.
problem. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. All right. So without I have Vivian and then Mirabel not being able to join. I've dropped my number in the chat. Yeah, both of you, anyone that's able to call right after the call, I can take the call before I go to do my other stuff. Because you've been trying to join for some time and I feel bad that you're unable to join. I don't know, because right now no one is in the stream yet that is full. It should be able to take 10 people. So it's not like the room is full. So I don't know why you're unable to call Vivian and Mirabel. So if you can give me a call, even if it's a joint call, I can help both of you prep and then we can see what we can do next. I do see that Charles is trying to join. Let's do Charles and I'll end the session. So nobody is joining again. Charles.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Tell me about your funding story.
Yes, I have been awarded a 3,000 scholarship for my school, and I have successfully secured an Empower loan of 53,800, which has been approved and verified by my school. So I can focus on my studies
So
without
you
any
said you have
financial
secured
worries.
a loan, right?
I understand that I will be making a payment. Yes, yes.
Okay. How are you paying the interest loan while you're in school?
I understand that I will be making the loan amount exceeds my cost of attendance of $40,000 after the scholarship. So this will leave me with a surplus of $13,000, which I will be used to pay my interest on the loan, an amount of $516 per month, which will enable me to concentrate on my studies without any financial worries.
Okay, what's your plan after school?
Once I graduate from this program, I will return back to Sierra Leone to resume my employment at GT Bank as a
Charles,
senior
I
banking
can't hear you.
officer,
Like,
where
your line is breaking. The only part of your submission that we heard,
I will employ the
the only part of your submission we heard was to continue employment at GT Bank. We couldn't hear the rest. I guess your network is not
yeah,
good.
yeah, I think the network.
Yeah.
Once I finish my studies, I will return back to Sierra Leone to resume my employment at GT Bank as a senior banking officer, where I will apply my acquired skills in supporting my bank to promote the national financial inclusion strategy by tailoring financial products and services to meet the needs of the underserved communities in Sierra Leone. In the long run, my plan is to establish a consultancy firm where I will be partnering with local banks, financial corporations, and other fintech companies to implement
Charles, why
inclusive
did you
financial
choose this
solutions.
program? Why did you choose this program? Hello,
I choose this
Charles.
program because it combines data analytics, which will empower me with that. Yes, I'm getting. Hello?
Yeah, your network is bad. I can't.
Hello?
Yeah, your network is bad. I can't follow what you are saying. All right. So
Yeah,
while
sure,
he
sure. We
tries,
have we have poor network for now in Sierra
yeah,
Leone.
I think so. I'm sorry. Um.
Yes, I
So
said the program.
Sylvester,
I
I
choose this
think
program because
I'm trying to read the comment section. So I think
I
someone
think
shared.
I have to leave.
Yeah, the network. I can't hear you at all. It's popping that you are talking, but I can't hear you.
Uh, wow.
Yeah, when you
Can
said
you get
wow,
me
I
now?
hear you. I'm hearing you now.
Okay.
Why did you choose this program?
Okay.
That was the
I
question you
said
were
I chose
answering.
this program because it's yes, I choose the Master of Science in Accounting and Analytics because it integrates accounting with data analytics, which will empower me with the expertise in financial strategies and innovative financial inclusion strategies, which are crucial for addressing financial inclusion in Sierra Leone, where many individuals and small businesses lack access to formal financial services. By gaining this expertise, I aim to return to contribute significantly in the financial sector by supporting my bank's effort in developing tailored financial products and services to meet the needs of the underserved populations.
All right. I think with your network, let's just end here, and then maybe you can join another time so that we can follow the story. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so let's see the questions in the chat. Please advise the school's orientation is August 19, and the I-20 has not been sent by the school, so date for interview has not been booked yet. What can be done, please? Can you start reaching out to the school to see if they could provide your I-20? Because it's June, July, August next month. I guess the I-20 is never coming. So reach out to the school one more time. If it doesn't work out, then you'd have to start the whole process again, unfortunately. um what if your sponsor withdraws? Clifford is asking. I've said that if they ask you that question, you want to emphasize on your sponsor's continued commitment to sponsoring your education. So what if your uncle withdraws their sponsorship? My uncle has been a strong pillar in my family ever since my dad died, and I'm assured of his continued commitment. You don't bring in another person, then it means that you yourself, you don't even trust that you have that commitment from the person who is your sponsor. So don't bring in a third person when you are asked this question. Vivian said she's not able to join. Mariam said, please, can you give me the answer to the comment section before you leave? Mariam, I can't see your comment on the comment section. So if you can type it right now, I can answer the question. Vivian Mirabel, are you able to join now or still? Yeah, you are not able to join. Mariam, I'm waiting for your question in the chat, and in the next minute, if I don't get your question, I'll drop the call. All right. All right. Thank you all for joining today's session. It's been an awesome time. I don't know if you guys want to do us a prep want us to do a prep tomorrow. Just drop it in the group chat. Let me see how many people want us to do a prep, because I don't like the cost to put on the DS 160 is the cost on your I-20. The course on your DS 160 should be on the course on the I-20. Yes. Because when you put in your service ID and then they pull your information, it will pull the course on the I-20. And then when you go for the visa interview, you can explain why there's a difference in the program. And I'm saying that there's usually a difference in the program on the I-20 and the program you applied for because of its STEM classification. So you should be good, Miriam. Is your question answered? Miriam, is your question answered? Yes. All right. So I'm going to end the session. Mirabel and Vivian, if you have the time, please call me right now and then we can talk. Bye. So everyone, thank you for joining. If today is your first time, please click on the subscribe button. We are doing this up to the end of July. So you can also join the prep session when we do the live sessions if you have subscribed. And then please do not forget to hit the notification, share the link to other people you are pursuing this dream with. And then I'm hoping to see you tomorrow on Monday for another session. Bye.